Bean Boys assemble! Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new edition.
It's only us two this week.
Yeah, although we're keeping the gallery view because now you can see what we're both doing, and like sometimes the fucking algorithm that's like puts on which person's speaking when like fucks up. But now you can see both of our lovely degenerate faces at once. Hello. How's everyone doing?
Yeah.
This is the Bean Cells podcast where Beanie Boys banter about brutal bops. And as always, it's me. Bops. And as always, it's Shaush sitting opposite me, chugging on the most tragic looking water container I have ever seen in my life.
That is full of mold and plastic and all that shit. Yeah,
you are legitimately drinking water out of a receptacle that is full of mold because that's how fucking brutal your life has become.
Yeah, I've hit a new low. My life has been going downhill for like a month now. I might as well speed up the process. Man.
So to be fair, maybe it will give you some kind of like protection against COVID, but you won't even need like a fucking vaccine because your system's had to deal off with mold.
Vaccine? Nah. I just drink water mold.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You look like the fucking toxic Avenger. But yeah, no. How you been, man? What have you been up to? Much?
No, not much. As I said, like the extent of my exciting life has literally just been going to the Canterbury in the first time in a while and going into HMV and a smaller record shop, and the guy was cool in there, but I still need to listen to more music outside of metal. I listen to stuff, but I just like there was hip hop and shit. Apparently, so the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers was sold, and I was pissed off because like I love that album, but
yeah. Yeah, maybe one day we'll do some kind of like thing about Wu-Tang because I don't know how that will fit into the podcast, but any excuse, man. I'm a massive fucking
maybe we should one day just talk about music that isn't metal because like
man, the sky's the limit.
We both enjoy like the good hip hop shit. We both enjoy that. Obviously, you know more about it than I do, but.
Well, yeah. I'd be more than happy to talk hip hop on this podcast, man. You know what I mean? Maybe with a metal lens on it, because that's an interesting topic that I don't think.
Yeah, I think hip hop and metal merge very well. As I said,
I know, and lots of people don't seem to think that either. Like, whereas to me, like, there's a lot of.
Really?
I think there's more like crossover with punk rock a lot of the time, but metal and hip hop can go together real well. And maybe we'll do that.
I'm talking. Sorry, I meant like specifically brutal death metal and shit like that. That shit crosses over because it's all about killing people and being brutal as fuck.
And having a groovy rhythmic
We're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about bands that we listen to over this month and that we think you guys should hear.
Yeah.
And if you've heard them, sick. If you haven't, go check them out and buy their stuff.
Man, it's usually me that sort of gets things in line and does the segues, but no, perfect on point.
You know what? I feel like I need to show people that I ain't a little bitch, all right?
Not that it's a competition.
Just because I'm the young man on this podcast, I can also talk as well.
I hadn't noticed, mate. No, excellent.
Yeah, not at all. I thought I was always Og caveman, but
Well, although I'm going to take the big alpha move and assert my dominance by going first this time, and I'm going to go first with a record that I've already mentioned on the last podcast we did with the lovely boys over at Draped and Dripping. It was the one which I gave away, but I'm going to mention it again because it is 16 minutes of complete fucking madness. It is the Russian band ByoNoiseGenerator with their album Neuromechanica. Now, in case you didn't watch that,
this one,
our boy came through with the purchase.
I bought it.
He did. No,
yeah, I bought it. I listened to it. Like, I already knew this band. I totally forgot that I knew it because Travis Ryan talked about it on a like an interview with Metal Blade. Well, I think that's where he talked about it. And I checked it out, but I kind of disregarded it. I guess I wasn't with the mind. I mean, I'll let you explain what it is, but yeah, then off as him talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I know that band. And I listened to it again. I was like, this is fucking amazing. And I immediately bought it. Thank you. Vomit your shirt. Go check them out.
No, 100%. So in case you didn't watch the previous episode that we did, which you should do, but just in case you didn't, ByoNoiseGenerator described themselves as an ultra-fast jazz grind band. One of my friends described them as being gore jazz, and I've seen them described as a slam jazz band. So this is essentially super chaotic, like brutal death metal, like extremely brutal, guttural, piggy snare, nasty death metal, but played stupid chaotic, but with added free jazz sections. There are points where a sax comes over the top of everything and goes on to like dissonant free jazz fucking like freakouts. And I have never heard anything like it.
These song titles are weird. These song titles are weird.
Yeah,
the only one that like actually makes sense. Yeah, all right. The only one that I actually knew what it said at first was 4-degree flutter flux. And now I've just read another one and I've understood it. 3/4 cavity hydro blow tango. And then you've got ones which are literally chemical symbols and equations, like this bottom one. Carbon, hydrogen, if it's something efficiency ratio. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
It all sounds very sciencey, doesn't it? It kind of has that kind of a vibe going on, where it feels as though like it's about like chemical compositions and like chemistry lab
140
gone wrong type
decibel
vibe.
love song.
Yeah, and that.
That's sick. You know what?
That is
like, you ever have a wedding or something? 140 decibel love song is the one to go for. That one has like a really smooth jazz sax solo part inside of it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, there are a couple. So there are a couple of parts where it kind of drops out into just being like sort of like a chilled jazz section, and like that is the only moment of respite you're getting. It's like you kind of get them, and it kind of feels a bit mystical and a bit chilled, and it kind of like breaks things up, and then just goes straight back into just utter insanity. I have no idea how the fuck they wrote this. It's one of those records you listen to, you're like, how the fuck does someone memorize this? Like, it's
this is one thing that like confuses me. It's like symphonic black metal bands and stuff. Like when they're practicing and writing music, they don't actually have the violins and cellos and fucking stuff playing with them. They add that in the studio, so it's just always confused me how someone can come up with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, well, I think in that case I think in that case, like in terms of like symphonic black metal, a lot of the time they will have like demo, they'll demo stuff on stuff like Guitar Pro and like other kinds of sort of like software. Sure. You know what I mean? So they'll sort of write parts, but yeah, no, it is always interesting. But in terms of like production and like the composition of this is like because the thing is like even the brutal death metal element is played so fucking off kilter. This isn't just like straight slams. It's kind of like it's like slam riffs, but just played in at points some completely random rhythmic intervals. It's fucking it's mental. Like, but yeah, if you were like, it's only 16 minutes long, but they kind of pack so much in to that 16 minutes that it feels like a whole experience in of itself.
It's one of those where it's like you can't have it to be longer, because if it was longer, like your fucking brain would explode. It's the opposite of like super ignorant slam stuff. Like last week, Seven was saying that no one would want to listen to his music for more than like 20 minutes because it will just rot your fucking brain and you wouldn't actually know what you're doing anymore with your life. This one would do the opposite. It wouldn't make your brain rot. It would actually make your fucking brain explode, and you would not know what you're doing with your life because your fucking brains are splattered across your room. And that's not helpful for anyone.
Right? Especially not whoever has to come in and clean that up. You know, it's not good for anybody. But yeah, if you fancy, so like
a jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, it is like a jigsaw puzzle. It's like trying to figure out how the fuck they wrote this, and like you can't. It reminds me of that. You cannot predict where it's going next. It's one of those like there's no predicting where it's going next. Like I've listened to this probably about 4 times now, and it's so mad that I can't remember.
Loads. I cannot.
Yeah, no, it's fucking bonkers, man. Like I love it. It's a bit of genius, and I wholeheartedly recommend if you want to listen to something that's like proper, like head smashingly brutal, but it's got some weird, crazy progressive elements going on without sacrificing any of the extremity. Yeah, one off. That's Neuromechanica by ByoNoiseGenerator. Shaush, what is your first album? What you got for us?
I showed you this one just because I thought it was fucking hilarious. But so this one, I mean, I love Predator. The first film when I saw it, I thought it was fucking sick. I mean, you skin people alive. He knows what I'm talking about already.
Yeah, I do.
Like
but yeah, I mean,
noises
I would
Predator
not
makes.
trust anyone that did not like the movie Predator. I would not trust
Like
your
Predator,
opinion
yeah.
on anything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. I like the noises Predator makes. I think it was fucking brilliant, like sound engineering for the time.
Yeah.
I think Predators look cool, you know.
They do. They
have
look fucking
skulls and
dope.
shit. They collect skulls. Yeah, they are pretty brute because I mean they're dreadlocked. Hopefully they're not Chris Barnes dreadlocked, but they are dreadlocked, and that's pretty brute. No, all right, actually, they've all got like receding hairlines basically, so they're more like the guitarist of Suffocation. Oh, what's his name?
Guy.
Fucking I feel so bad because he's so good.
We both suck. Like, we both suck majorly.
Yeah, we are retarded. All right, I'll look this up whilst I'm talking because I feel like such a dickhead. But yeah, so what happens when you take this and you make it into one big slam record? Well, you get these guys from, I believe, Ukraine. You get Esophagus defeated by their Inferiority.
You got a cassette?
Just by the album cover alone. Yeah, I got a cassette. It was on Lifeless Chasm. This is where I found it, actually. I was looking on Lifeless Chasm and I saw this album artwork. And I was like, dude, that looks sick. And I listened to it. I was like, I need to buy this immediately. So I did. So it was almost a blind buy, which normally people don't do these days because you can listen to shit on Spotify. That's it. All right, real quick. The guitarist of Suffocation is Terrence Hobbs.
Of course he fucking is.
The Predators are like Terrence Hobbs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure he takes that as nothing but a compliment.
Yeah. And so like I saw this and I was like, dude, that looks fucking sick. I listened to it. The guy, I mean, in here, inside the cassette, look, it's beautiful, right? It's all silver and it's got a sticker on it. It's very nice.
Dope.
But on the inside, on the insert sheet here, it has like the band members and what they do. And the vocalist, it says vocals in brackets, Predators. Because like literally this entire album is just Predator noises.
Yes,
like,
it is.
That they do. And then there's like when they scream, when the Predators scream, there's that kind of shit where it's like really compressed and like fucking ooga.
Yeah, he does do a very good job of imitating the Predator, actually. Like, because like underneath him,
however the fuck he like.
Go.
Just shut the fuck up. Like however the fuck he manages to do like the like tonguey shit where it's like the.
Oh no.
That shit. For such a long time. I mean, I'm sure he does it for an inhale, but how the fuck he manages to do that? I have no idea.
Beats me, man. Entirely.
So what you were gonna say?
I was gonna say like because like you have already shown me this, and it's a good slam album, but the thing that kind of elevates it are the vocals, and obviously it's like it's an imitation of Predator, but. It's one of those things where it's like not many people would think of that particular combination.
Also,
but it's such a perfect marriage. It's
each song is obviously about being a Predator. Yeah, there's songs about being Predator. I mean, the first song on here is called Stalker, rather fucking obvious. Then you got shit like Awakening a New Icon, which is like promotion of a Predator, a hunting one. Then on side B, you've got stuff like Hunting or Defeated by the Inferiority, which is their title track. And on here as well, there's a Highness Killing cover. I don't know if you know the band Highness Killings.
I'm aware of
I was actually going to include them on this, but then, I was actually going to include them on this, but then I thought I hadn't listened to the album enough, so I didn't include them. but listen to Highness Killings.
Fair.
Yeah, they have Beating Her to Deformity, which is a Highness Killing song, and they covered that on here. But yeah,
Nice.
Esophagus defeated by their inferiority. And there you go. That is that sick album cover. What have you got next?
What have I got next? And yeah, I just want to add, like, that's a bloody good slam record. That is most good. I'm just going to write these down. I'm just going to name these out the way I wrote them. So I recently, having gotten off my Entombed binge, I was like, oh, I want to listen to some more death and roll. I kind of had a thought to myself where I was like, I wonder if anyone's combined death and roll with death grind. I bet they have. So I went on Rate Your Music, and I do like looking through there and like finding specific genre combinations. And I put in like, give me releases that have like a death and roll and a death grind influence. And it threw an album at me. The album is by a band called Dead. Not Death, Dead. D-E-A-D, Dead.
Yeah.
And the album is called You'll Never Know Pleasure. And essentially what this is it's like, I describe it as like straight up death metal, but with a slight like death grind nastiness to it, with some occasional sick blues riffs. And man, like this is a little bit of a gem. I do believe this came out in like 1990. It came out in 1996. Old Jimmy from the Block would love it because there's some tits on the cover. There's a lot of like. Are
they gored? Are they gored?
Are they gored?
Are they gored? As in, are they hacked up and shit?
Oh no! It's just a sexy lady on the front cover. No. There's no mutilation involved. It's just some gratuitous TNA. But yeah, no. There's lots of lyrics. Like the lyricist is quite easy to the vocalist is quite easy to understand as well. And there's lots of like lyrics about sexual perversion. But it's like the riffs are really thick and dumb, and it's a good time. And when it sort of breaks into those like borderline like classic rock kind of parts, like it's just satisfying to me, man. It's lovely. Like I do thoroughly enjoy the kind of the contrast between the kind of the nasty element that's being brought by some of how fucking hard those riffs go, and when it breaks into those bluesier sections, it's lovely. The only thing I'd say is at the end of the album, there's like a part which is almost like and this was on the Spotify release, right? There's like a 4-track, maybe 4 to 6 track part where it kind of has a different song title in front of it, and it's like part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 of this one particular thing. Don't listen to it. All it is a dude going, "Spread your legs, you whore," and then spread your legs, you whore. Right, and it repeats like that for literally about 15 minutes. I listened to all of it just to be a thorough reviewer. There's nothing there. It's just spread your legs. It was
like when you get which one was it? I don't know which clipping album it is, but you get the fucking like vinyl of that or something, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to side D, because what's in side D? The song called Piano Burning. 18 fucking minutes of just the piano burning and nothing but waste of fucking wax.
But it is well cool when you hear the strings go and it goes
yeah.
like that it's kind of worth it just for that one part. That's kind of dope, and then the rest of it is just like literally just sounds like a bonfire. Like
there's that one part, and then afterwards like
there's another 10 minutes.
I'm just not going to say what I was going to say because I don't actually want to go and say that. So
all right,
just ignore what I was going to say.
All right, no worries. But yeah, that's a really good record. I think it came out of 96 or 97. I haven't put any particular notes for it and anything like that, but I know that I had a great fucking time listening to it. It's really, really good. Yeah, like I said, kind of a mix of sort of like really like the guitar tone is what gives it that kind of death grind thing. It kind of reminds me of, it's not as heavy as Mortician at all. It's not as guttural as Mortician, but it kind of like the guitar tone is leaning towards that way, and there's like a death roll influence. It's fucking good, man. Yeah, that's Dead. You'll Never Know Pleasure. Big recommend. What's your next one?
My next one is another slam record. I don't know why.
I've got plenty of slams too.
I know. You said this. You were like, "Yo, check out this fucking slam," and I was like, "No." Let me wait till then.
That's why I'm looking forward to this one.
So this is one called Carnal Disfigurement, and the album is called Inhumane Content from Carnal Cavity.
Oh,
all right. So that's a lot of.
I think I've heard this band. I think I've heard them.
Yeah, they have an album on Spotify, but it isn't this one. This is only on their Bandcamp, and that's where I found them. So,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say about these guys? They're like just slam, but it's good.
Yep.
It's not generic and boring and shit like that. It's actually the vocals are standard, but the riffs are standard. But I mean, it's good enough to a point where you can get that fucking groove going. And it's one of those where if you're walking out in public, you have to stop yourself from going.
What about this makes it stand out from your average slam record?
It wasn't released on Slam Worldwide.
I'll take that as an answer. That's perfectly valid response.
Yeah, it's not slamming like it's not like slamming deathcore.
All right.
That boring shit where it's just super overproduced, because like slam doesn't sound good when it's overproduced. Like the rawness actually, funny enough, the rawness makes it so as the notes you can actually hear them, whereas with it being overproduced, it's just like and it's like, yo, dude,
it takes out the overproduction in that kind of music, takes out a lot of the texture and the flavor. Like, because if you just have it like so that everything's kind of like put through tubes and like fucking like all the drums are clicky, it just kind of where it doesn't sound like a band anymore, it doesn't sound human to me, and that's kind of, I want it to sound human, like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I agree. I'll definitely have to check that out. I've got a feeling I've heard that before, but that's the thing with like brutal death metal band names, like what they call Cranial Disfigurement.
No, Carnal Disfigurement.
Carnal Disfigurement. I mean, like, yeah, that's a pretty standard name. That could be a few.
Everything about this is standard. I just thought it was good. So I mean, there isn't much to say here. But
no, sweet man.
They're pretty good.
Carnal Disfigurement. I'll definitely have to get onto that. And I am keeping on the slam streak. But oh boy. So, when we were talking, Shaush, and I was going, mate, I've just found like the best slam record.
Yeah, I told you to wait till
you told me to shut the fuck up and keep it for now, right? I am buzzing, right? I found a slam band called the Dark Prison Massacre, who are from China. They're a Chinese slam band, right? And I feel sorry for any fucking metal band, especially extreme metal band from China, because now, like, every single review is going to go, oh, and the coronavirus isn't the only disgusting thing to come from that country, it seems.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, they released an album. It's their first album called A Blood Clot Ejaculation. And this is like some of the grooviest shit I have heard in a long fucking time. I think the obvious comparison point for me is Abominable Putridity. Abominable Putridity. Yeah, that's it. Right? That, like, they're definitely influenced by them, so much to the point that there is actually a cover on this album.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like from that school of things. But let me put it this way. I like this more than the most recent Abominable Putridity album. It is, mate, the bounce on it is fucking preposterous on every single track. Like,
there's some like genty parts inside of it as well. Like,
you know what? Like, at points it actually goes borderline. I wouldn't say genty. I'd say there's like a couple of bits which like gave me a little bit of a nu metal vibe. Weirdly enough, there's some like one like bounce riffs and parts, but it's definitely a slam record. There's some parts which are like definitely from the brutal death metal school of things. Yeah. Parts it gets a bit hardcore. Parts there's a bit of nu metal, but it's all fucking bounce. It's all bounce all the time. There's plenty of blast too. It's not like they're lacking in blast, but the groove on it is the most fun I've had with a brutal record in quite a long time. It's ridiculous.
It like mainly like double strokes on the kicks and just half time on the tops, just like.
Oh man, it goes in between. There's bits of music where it just goes. like, and you've just got the. You've just got to listen to it, man. Like there are parts when I'm listening to it. Sorry, man. This album makes me excited. There are parts when I'm listening to it, like the movement in my body is involuntary. It's one of those, like, I'm not, like, I can't sit still and listen to it. It's fucking impossible. It's just parts come in and it's just like, you can fucking, it's so much fun. There's also a Deicide cover at the end, When Satan Rules as well, which is it's a good cover. But yeah, definitely check this out, because there's so many parts that just make me go. There's one called, I think it's called Back Slicing the Pupil. And there's sort of like, there's a slam moment in that every single time it comes in, I just like want to start like doing one of those fucking TikTok dances like a dickhead, just going like,
I know. Dude, like recently, for some reason, I've been trying to prove to myself that I can dance to brutal death metal. So I'll be like brushing my teeth, and I'll be like going like,
exactly,
time, right? Precisely. Like if I'm alone in the house, I'm genuinely dancing to like brutal death metal and slam, because it's like, you know what? If I go to, if I was ever cool and you know, someone was like, "Yo, you want to put something on the speaker?" and it was with a bunch of people, I'd be like, "Yes." So I get like fucking let's go with Devoured, or actually 200 Stab Wounds is a good one, because like I've been listening to them so much lately. So you know, you put on Digested Desire, that drum part,
yes,
that comes in, and then offers you got the rest of the riffs, and like you could actually fucking groove down to that, and you would either be the life of the party, or you would be looked at very confusingly and then kicked out of that person's house because they think that you are either going to eat their babies or you're just fucking dumb. And both of the latter of those is correct. I'm dumb, and also I'd probably get kicked out of the house.
But do you eat babies?
Whatever.
That's the question.
Can't say.
Well, no, some things are best left unsaid for sure, but yes, that album, a blood clot ejaculation by the Dark Prison Massacre, China's finest, man. Fucking excellent. If you want some groove in your slams, and I don't know who doesn't, get on that. It's well fucking good. What is your next one, man?
This one I mentioned on the Direct and Dripped episode. That very ambitious crossover.
The most ambitious crossover.
And I managed to stump everyone, which I was very proud of myself. As someone whose business is in death metal, I stumped him. And I was like, internally, I was actually fucking screaming like, that, because I was like, I stumped a guy whose fucking job is death metal, and like he actually has no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, lovely.
And obviously, I didn't want to scream out loud like that, because I think I'm a bit fucking weird, and also isn't very good on the throat.
Yeah, no, you got, if you're doing vocals, you got to save that shit, man.
Yeah. Fuck it, man. I'll just scream however. I ain't no
fuck
pussy.
it.
But yeah, that's Spiritual Embodiment with their self-titled record. This just came up on my new releases for you on Spotify, and I saw they only had like 269 way 269 monthly listeners.
Nice.
So yeah, that's why I went way. You know. But I'm just pulling the album up right now, and like the album cover is pretty sick because it's got lots of green, and Lord knows I love acidic green. It's released on Life. No, is it? Yeah, it was released on Life After Death. So that's pretty good. That means it's good shit. But the album cover, it's on Spotify. It's like made in like an insert sheet on a tape. So like, I'll take this cassette tape for an example. You've got the side here, and obviously you've got the actual front album cover.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've also got the songs right there, haven't you? So it's like the album cover's set out, so there's a spine, there's the name of the songs, and then offers there's like the actual album cover on the right. So it's set out like an insert sheet. And this like the actual album cover just perfectly represents what this fucking album is. It's just like a rotting old man, like in languishing, and just looking up at the skies, like fucking saddened, not with a smile on his face. It's just I'm very happy at the moment, all right? And I mean, the first track on this is like literally 2 notes. This is very death doom, and I normally don't like doom, but I've been finding out that I do enjoy death doom, and you got me into the Warning album, and that actually made me fucking sad. So I realize why people listen to doom, but not sleep. I don't get why you listen to sleep.
The Sciences is actually really good, but I share your opinion on Dope Smoke. Never been for me.
And that was.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking snooze.
But yeah, it's like literally 2 notes, and it has like a depressive side to it. So I guess that's kind of
love a bit of melancholy, man. I love a bit of sadness.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's only really one like death metal album title on here, because you've got first one called Prelusion, then after you got Sarcasm. Sorry, I said the first one very French. Prelusion, was that how you say it?
Prelusion.
Yeah, Prelusion or Prelusion. Yeah, because I said it very French there. I went Prelusion like that, but whatever, man. Prelusion. Then obviously you got Sarcasm, which reminded me so much of Skyrim, because there's a place in Skyrim called the Soul Cairn, and this song sounds like the Soul Cairn. It's just fucking winding, endless, and you're just trudging through, and you want it to be done because the Soul Cairn is so fucking bleak and boring. Yeah. But I'm not saying you want this song to be done.
Yeah,
It feels like when you're inside the Soul Cairn, because it's just trudging and endless, And then offers the last track is very death metal, Festering Sludge of Afterbirth.
Oh,
that's probably my favorite track off of this album. Yeah,
sweet.
It's like literally three tracks. I mean, it's just an EP, but seriously, like, check that shit out if you enjoyed death doom. If you want to get into a mood, that's the album.
Absolutely. I mean, and the last fucking Death Doom EP you put forward in front of me was Seep, which I obviously mentioned before, and that I absolutely loved that. So
shut up! No! Shut up! Do not.
Oh, it's on there, isn't it? Well, more on that in a second.
Good, yeah.
More on that in a second. That sounds fucking wicked, mate. I'm definitely going to be getting on that as soon as I can. That is, remind me of the name again.
Spiritual Embodiment with their self-titled EP.
The self-titled from Spiritual Embodiment it is. Excellent. Right, on to my next one. So I because of a album which is going to be coming up later on your list, which you know which one I'm talking about, I wanted to hear some more stuff which was like a combination of brutal death metal with a slight hardcore leaning, because I love that. It makes me happy. But I wanted it done in a way that wasn't necessarily deathcore, right? And I did a bit of trawling on the old Metalum, on the old Metal Encyclopedia site itself, and I found a band called Hate Diplomacy with their album Rant. Now, this album, I think it might contain more than just the vocalist, but it at least has the vocalists of a band that I would have once called the worst band in death metal, Awaken the Cadaver. They've actually gotten a lot better as time's gone on, but that first EP is one of the worst things that you can ever say.
The ones that had like dragged to the woods and raped or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Actually, no, I know exactly. Awaken the Cadaver is the one that talks about shredded wheat, and also that Finn McKenzie from the punk rock NBA hates NBA. Fucking hell, not basketball, NBA, because they're too misogynistic. But he also cites Devoured as one of the best slam bands. Dude, have you read Devoured songs, like lyrics?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of that guy's takes.
Your brain is like so backwards. Anyway, this is going to be a rant.
Yeah. No, I agree. Some of that guy's music takes are fucking bizarre. But anyway, yeah. Wake of the Cadaver were a band back in the day who released an EP that was sort of like to be fair, like one of the first like mixes of like slam and deathcore that I think anyone had really heard at that point. But the problem was the band's drummer needed a metronome, and the vocals were ropey, so the drum performance was fucked. Whoa, and they came pretty quick. They were a punchline, but it makes me very happy that there might be other members from that band in Hate Diplomacy as well, but there is the vocalist is definitely there, and his vocals have definitely improved, and it's sort of similar in that, it's brutal death metal with a hardcore edge to it. But what you're basically getting is, like brutal death metal as if it's played by tough guy hardcore. And it's fucking tough, mate. That's the word I'd use to describe it. There's a big political element on this as well. Whereas, back in the day, like Wake of the Cadaver were extremely misogynistic. It was all about raping and killing women, all of that. But this is definitely politically minded. I couldn't tell you how good the political observations are on it, because I don't understand most of the lyrics, but I love his vocals on this. It's sort of like that.
Shit.
Was that?
There we go.
All right, no, you're good.
Did you hear anything of what I just said? My internet was fucking dying.
Oh right, yeah, no, you're frozen up a little bit, but that's okay. I'm currently talking.
Doing it again now.
Yeah, no, I'm currently talking, so it doesn't matter.
I know you are.
So yeah, essentially, what it's sort of like if a brutal death metal band would better have their songs played by a tough guy hardcore band, but it's so fucking tough. There's so many good groovy parts here. There's some fucking wicked riffs, and the vocal on top of it all for me is the perfect just the perfect combination. It's essentially like a tough guy hardcore vocalist with the kind of like that kind of an intonation, but really guttural. It fucking works on top of the music, man. I've had a good fucking time listening to this week. If you like death metal mixed with hardcore, I'd say to anyone, if you like Snuffed on Sight, maybe check them out, because it's sort of a similar vibe, not entirely. But it's kind of coming from. It's kind of coming from a similar thing, even though if it's not the same entirely. But yeah, it's fucking hard, mate. It's well hard. So yeah, that is Rant by Hate Diplomacy, man. And yeah, it's tough as fuck. Right, tell me your next album.
I'm gonna say two words here, and everyone's gonna go, "Boo! Shut the fuck up about these guys." Boo! All right. But either way, let me argue my case here.
Okay.
All right. So, you guys may know of this band, and I talk about them a lot, but fucking Coward Decapitation, right? They used to have a sole bassist, I believe, on the albums. I think he was definitely onto Self Man, and he left off the Harvest Floor. And this man is called Troy Offerdole. He has a nice bald head and a very nice beard. Very nice man. And Travis and him are still friends, and I was watching Travis. I like how I always have a fucking backstory for everything I listen to, but
I love it.
I was watching
it gives it flavor and depth, so it helps you know what I like hearing about your discovery with it.
And just during last year, during the hottest parts of lockdown, Travis was doing his record collection, going through all of his vinyls, and in one of the episodes in the background he was listening to this band, and he said, "Oh yeah, my friend Troy Offerdole, who used to play in Coward Decapitation, is in this band, and this band is called Cave Bastard." Already the name just sells it.
Yeah, right? No, that is a top tier band name. that's like a top shelf band name.
Good.
Yeah, no, I'm immediately interested.
And yeah, with the trucker hat, man, it just makes me feel even more degenerate. And so the album is called "The Bleak Shall Devour the Earth," right?
Sick.
And this is fucking death metal, but it gets really doomy at some points, and then after you got these parts where it's just fast as fuck, just standard demolo death what? Death metal tremolo picking.
Yeah.
I don't say that. And holy shit, it's a ride. It's a motherfucking ride. And yeah, it's like I could tell Troy off the doors on there because the bass tones are like pretty close to especially the Harvest Floor and stuff. It was pretty chunky sounding, definitely picked. I mean, the vocalist on here is doing a pretty fucking good job as well. You know, he's not just hitting one note. He's being pretty extravagant. The drummer, for what he's like doing pretty fucking good, and the guitar works good. So like, honestly, like, Troy didn't downgrade himself. Honestly, he put himself in a nice spot, and I think it worked out for him because this album is honestly so fucking good. They're working on new material for the first time in a long time.
Cool.
I'm excited to see what comes out next from Cave Busted, and we will definitely be reviewing that. And I will punch you if you say we're not reviewing Cave Busted, because we are. Once you've listened to this album, you'll understand me.
Yeah, mate. The title has.
I mean, you don't actually. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was about to say, like, my argument for why this band is good. You don't actually have to listen to the music. Just the name Cave Bastard's good enough. It's like when fucking Gonillock said, if your band name is anything to do with a gross grave, like, you're already making big sales. If your band is anything to do with being Og Caveman, I can relate to that, so I love you already.
Precisely. No, it might be my favorite band name of anything we've covered on the Metal Monthly Roundup. So yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It might be like that is just a solid fucking band name. Fantastic stuff. So yeah, well, tell me the title.
So good.
Tell me the title of the album again.
So that is Cave Bastard with The Bleak Shall Devour the Earth.
Sick. The Bleak Shall Devour the Earth. Lovely. No, mate, that sounds fucking wicked. I'm definitely, again, it's more homework for me, but that's one of the reasons why I love doing this.
I mean, these monthly mail roundups, like, no one's actually watching it. This is just us waffling on about homework for each other.
It's the best, mate. Fuck it.
Message it to each other. But you know what? Some of you guys tag along, and I hope you're having fun.
They've got plenty of stuff to listen to. No, sweet, mate. Right, on to me. My next one is I've mentioned this band to you over Messenger before. I've listened to this a few times now, man, and I got this off of the Frozen Soul Facebook group. Someone was posting about this in there, and they like said like, man, this is just this is that they were just like, this is fucking Riff City, baby. They didn't say that, you say that, but they were like, this is, they did say like, this is the
Riff City, baby.
This is just riffs. And like, I don't need any more encouragement than that. It's got riffs. Okay, so I checked it out, and we
love riffs.
Oh, mate, they weren't lying, man. But what I was so yeah, the band are called Steel Bearing Hand, and the album is called Slay in Hell. And to sort of describe this band's sound, I'd say they're primarily a thrash band with a big old dollop of death metal with a sprinkling of black metal on top. But the most important part is that like this band in like a classic thrash way are just full of fucking riffs. Like, I mean, they are just bursting at the seams with riff after riff after riff. This band's songwriting approach is, we're going to play another riff, and now we're going to play another riff, and now it's just one of those. It's fucking gorgeous.
So I'm glad someone posted it in the Frozen Soul Facebook group, because that means, right, Frozen Soul is very much into the bolt thrower thing, as we can tell. Bolt thrower is just their songwriting approach was, yo, you like riffs? Yeah, we're gonna put one. You know, we're gonna put another riff afterwards. Yeah, we used this riff on our last album, but it was good, so we're gonna take it and we're gonna put it back in this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that what you're telling me? This is like.
Well, no, I wouldn't say it has the same level of repetition as either like Bolt Thrower or Frozen Soul.
Frozen
There's
Soul.
definitely some, but it does vary up a lot. And to be fair, there's some fucking really good like old thrash style solos, and yeah, it like sort of goes between like a death metal and a black metal
sick.
influence at points as well. But yeah, mate, it's just such a good time. The vocalist sort of like keeps a bit of a growl on him at most points, it gives it a bit of a deathy feel. But like again, like it also goes to a bit more of a high pitched like shriek at points. It's just a fucking great time. Very like raw old school production on it as well. So it feels very real and raw. If I'm not mistaken, I think this might be two dudes who play everything on this. If I'm not mistaken, I saw a band photo and it was two dudes. So it looked like if that's the case, then that's super impressive because like yeah, this is like super accomplished stuff, man. Like it's really really fucking good. Like if you fancy getting the thrash energy on, but getting a bit necro with it. Like, and I'm all about that, man. I love anything that with that kind of vibe. It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. There's just generally the guitar work is really creative. That's the thing that stands out the most. Like it's just like really, really engaging stuff. Brilliant fucking album. I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they're gonna chuck out because this is their debut, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, man, it's a Steel Bearing Hand, Slaying Hell. Trust me, man. If you want some thrash riffs, I don't think you're gonna find much at the moment, which is quite as good. It's fucking excellent, mate. Right, give me your next one, man.
A complete other end of the fucking spectrum. My next one is a band called. Well, I don't even think it's a band. I don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure all of this is programmed. So this is Komodonesia with the story from the Komodo dragon. Once again, here we go. Story time.
Yes.
I follow this Instagram account that the guy from Michael from Barbaric Brutality told me to follow. Go follow this account. They are called Wired Opposite. If you want to find a bunch of good brutal music, definitely check him out.
Nice.
He posted a story, this, and I was like, you know what's fucking cool? Reptiles, alligators. They're cool. I mean, they helped out in the Florida death metal scene, right? Komodo dragons, they're fucking cool.
Komodo dragons
I saw a
are
lizard today,
fucking
and I was
sick. Like they
oh,
really
they are so sick.
Yeah.
I saw the first lizard today of it's not even summer yet, and there's a fucking lizard out, so that doesn't make sense. But yeah, he was just chilling, like he was literally waiting right next to me to cross the fucking road, and I was like, "You're right, bro." So yeah, reptiles are fucking cool. It's the bottom of the line, right?
Absolutely.
And so this album, being about a Komodo dragon, the album cover is of a Komodo dragon, and apparently, so it's the story from the Komodo dragon. So this Komodo dragon is a bit wiser, right? He's had a bit of a life. Not that I can understand what he's saying because the entire fucking thing is just the entire fucking album. But that pitch shifted downwards, in a real gore grind way.
Naturally.
And, dude, I'm 99% sure none of this is authentic. The vocals are pitch shifted, so that's no longer authentic. The bass sounds like some fucking VSD he found with just some chunky, slappy fucking bass. The drums are just like all the way fucking through, and it's just breakneck speed, and the guitars are the same. Like you can't actually tell what's going on. It's like if you took Mortician, but you thought the slower parts and you thought to yourself, you know what? Let's not even bother trying to find authentic instruments. Authentic instruments are expensive and they take time to learn. So we're just gonna get VSTs and make everything.
Wicked.
This is what it sounds like. I don't actually know if everything's programmed, but I'm sure everything's programmed. And honestly, dude, it's like the most intense 5 minutes of your life. It's
just
short
5 minutes.
And intense and sweet. Yeah, just 5 minutes.
That's
and it doesn't need to be more than 5 minutes. And honestly, like I heard this, I was like, dude, not only did this guy take the chance of using reptiles in gore grind, but he made it perfect. Or she, I don't actually know. This person made it perfectly. And I love this album. They only have this person only has 10 followers. And like when I first listened to them, they only had a 1 monthly listener.
Jesus.
Seriously?
Super
You're fucking
underground.
missing out, honestly. Listen to Komodonesia. Dude,
Well, I
the most
like
intense 5 minutes of my life.
it's 5 minutes, man. Like even if it's not exactly like you're making a massive investment out of your day, but yeah, I'm very intrigued by that because funnily enough, like it's like I listened to that band Pint Glass, and on their first EP, the bass guitar is entirely programmed, and I didn't know that at first, right?
Yeah.
But I legitimately used to listen to that and go, man, that fucking bass tone sounds sick, and it's entirely synthetic because it has like a proper like it's really thuddy because it's fake, right? It's like ding 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 ding, and I didn't quite figure out that it was fake at first. I was like, that bass tone is fucking fat. But yeah, it turns out it's completely fake. So
right?
you know, may I could see it working. I could definitely see it working.
But yeah, moving on swiftly to your
man. Yeah. So give us the title of that once again.
Komodonesia, with the story from the the story from the Komodo dragon.
Sweet, it will be in the description because I have no idea how you fucking spell that, and we don't want to be sitting around telling how you spell things. Right, on to the next one.
Indonesia plus the word Komodo. You fuck nugget.
I'm dumb. It's fine. So the next one, we are keeping up the slam streak. Oh boy! So I found this band when I was just I've just been on the biggest slam kick, right? And I've listened to a bunch of bands where I've been like, that's slam, and I've just kind of like, oh, but there isn't much there for me to really like really listen to it more than once. Like while it's on, I'm like, yeah, slam, like slam. Whereas I came across these
like the
guys,
Disfigurement album.
and yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's kind of my version of that for this month, right? Don't get me wrong, this is not reinventing the wheel in any way, but the one thing I like about it, right, is I love the tones on this, especially the way the guitar sounds, and I don't know what it is because I'm not into gear, but the guitar tone on this has the perfect balance between sounding real and sounding fucking like rumbly and thick, right? So the band is. So there's two ways you could pronounce this. So I'm going to say both: traumatomy or traumatomy. I think it's traumatomy, right? So like trauma, tomy, right?
Traumatomy sounds.
Yeah, traumatomy with transcendental eviscerating of necrogenetic beasts, which is a really long album title.
I almost thought you were about to say beans. I would have fucking died if you said the word beans. Like I heard the word beans.
Eviscerating of necrogenetic beans.
I just got massively blue balls by that album cover.
Unfortunately not. It is Beast, but I'm sure we can get Beancore to make a Bean version of this album at some point. He's like,
yo, Beancore hasn't been doing much lately.
No, he hasn't. I mean, he literally designed our bloody.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I know, but it's hilarious. I just want more and more of it on every album cover ever, you know. But yeah,
or if not, it's terminated his account because of our description. Like I'm pretty sure each time I put the link in for the new video, it gives him a notification because obviously it's changing the Instagram bio. I'm pretty sure it's telling him Bean Cells mentioned you in their bio, like each time we do it. So every week he's like dreading this notification to us, sweating profusely.
Sorry, we have brought shame to your good name, kind sir. Apologies, but yeah, back to the thing at hand, mate. This is so I've checked out their other albums and like this is the remastered version, by the way. The original master's good, but this is a really sick remaster. The mix on it, like I said, the tones on this for me are just perfect. Like it just like there's some fucking obnoxious bass drops in there as well. It's just it's just chunky, like it's fucking.
Is it the type of ones where is it like sub bass? So when you have like good enough speakers, it literally makes you shit yourself.
Yeah, like legitimately, like, yeah. But when you listen to it on shit headphones, it makes everything else drop out for a bit, and then it just comes back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
It's pure sub. It's like a proper bass
the
drop.
entire fucking thing.
But yeah, it's. I've listened to some of their other stuff, and it seems to me that this album kind of is the singular in terms of the sound. The other stuff's good slam, but this has a really sick sound to it. Yeah, man, it's thick, it's guttural, it's chunky, it fucking will make you pull a screw face. And yeah, look, just like your like slam album as well. There's not really much else I can honestly say about it because it is a slam record and it is a bit meat and potatoes, except for the fact that I think the production's really good, really good. Like it just suits what they're trying to do excellently, and it means when some of those parts come in, it's just like. It gets you right in that spot. But it's bloody quite good. So yeah, that is
We
trauma
should ban
to
the
me.
usage of the word meat and potatoes on this album, on this channel.
Yeah.
And it should just be, it's like a good tin of beans.
Yeah, it's like a good tin of beans.
Reliable,
you know what you're getting.
You know what you get, yeah.
But you're satisfied at the end.
Reliable, and you're satisfied, yeah.
Yeah,
even if it's cold.
Absolutely. No, it is like it's like a good can of Heinz, you know what I mean? But yeah, traumatomy, transcendental eviscerating of necrogenetic beasts, not beans, unfortunately. But yeah,
beans.
Go listen to it, Slam Fiends. All right, what's next?
Another thing I found on Lifeless Chasm. I was looking on there, and dude, this fucking album cover is sick. And also, they are all about drugs.
Cool.
This band is literally called MDMA.
Yeah.
And the album is. I was gonna try not to laugh, but you laughing made me think. Yeah, okay, it's pretty good. But yes, the band is called MDMA, and the album is called Chemical Obliteration.
Sick.
Fortunately, I'm like on Spotify for some reason the album cover is blue, but the Lifeless Chasm tape cassette release is green, and that's so much better because green is an awesome color. And I'm pretty sure like each tape variant was also like an homage to a drug. I think the tape variant I got was like crystallized and something that's about green, because it was like a very crystally green. Shut the fuck up, computer. And so yeah, less about the drugs, more about the music. Honestly, these guys like fucking brutal. So it's taking like the like revival of like the Dying Fetus side of brutal death metal, where everyone was like, we can actually get technical. So they were like, we're gonna do what the Australians are doing and take the technical death metal.
Death metal.
Merge that. Yeah. Whenever I say technical death metal, I always say it in an Australian accent because like most of them are, especially like Psychroptic, they say technical death metal. It's fucking great. And what was I saying? So the slam like brutal death metal bands were like, we need to get technical with our shit, and we can also have slams. These guys are that kind of thing where it's just a fucking like inveracity of speed and like no mercy for your ears. Your ears are, your fucking brain's going like, whoa, what the fuck, man? And then all of a sudden it just like slows. They have no fear of just all of a sudden slowing down.
Yes,
and then, like,
love that.
So it stops you from running down the street, and then after you're like, oh shit, gotta do the fucking slam walk now.
Have you dancing with 2 left feet?
Punch the child next to me.
Fantastic.
And then after the next one you see, it speeds up, so you like fucking run through them, and it slows down again. Just yeah, like that's literally like that's the perfect example of that. Was do not do that, Sean. That was awful. Please nobody screenshot that. Anyways, that was the perfect like example. Is like literally one moment you're running and one moment you're doing the fucking slam walk. And every album title was basically a reference to drugs. I'm pretty sure these guys just watched that series that I haven't watched, but George keeps telling me I need to watch. But now it's totally Breaking Bad. That one.
Yeah.
They probably just watched that and were like, "Yo, minerals." And
or they like,
so,
or they just like putting minerals inside of themselves by the sound of it.
So yeah, that's probably like lots of the death metal bands at the moment are like all on acid trips and weed and shit like that, which is fair enough. If it makes them make brutal music, I ain't gonna complain.
No, man.
You know, over here in the UK, we all just drink alcohol, and then like if you haven't had your stomach pumped by the time you're 15, which I need to get to doing that, you're a fucking pussy.
Don't do that. I feel as though this is where I have to be lame and be like, no, don't.
I'm only joking. Do not do that. Do not do that.
Yeah, but like, you know what the internet's like. They think they don't understand our sarcasm. It's just like they just don't get it. But yeah, no, absolutely. There's definite. I always enjoy a bit of druggy influence in my metal. It tends to make things.
This whole thing sounds like an acid trip.
Yeah, sick. But yeah, anything where you're comparing it to Dying Fetus in terms of like a combination of like techie speed and then slide it down into. And that's like my favorite thing ever. So like, I'm fucking psyched on that.
And they do it well. I mean, like you said, no one can ever do that better than Dying Fetus.
Nah, not really.
And I agree with you there. Like they are the kings of that shit. I mean, they basically invented it, right?
More or less, and more or less playing it to that standard.
They popularized that style of brutal death metal.
I'd say so, but fuck yeah, man, that's MDMA with chemical obliteration.
Chemical obliteration.
That's tasty. Yes. That sounds well fucking good. I'm going to have to get on that. That sounds like a bit of me. Right, on to my next one. Oh boy, right. So I'm continuing on with my other streak, which is now a streak, which is another one, which is sort of like progressive death metal with jazz elements. This band is from India, and they are called Moral Collapse, and this is their self-titled album. And this is progressive death metal. They're like a real prog metal, like death metal band, definitely in the vein of like sort of Later Death and Cynic and Atheist and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's a legit like jazz influence going on here. It's super mystical sounding. It's beautiful, and they've got some big names to collaborate with them on this and add some parts. I'm going to be totally unprofessional and look it up on Bandcamp while I talk about it, right? But yeah, this is a fucking astonishing bit of work. Like, I love the fact that in the same episode, I've been talking about brain-numbing slam, but also like brain expanding prog stuff, because because to me it kind of sums up the thing that I love about this kind of music, in that you can kind of have your cake and eat it. So yeah, if I just go onto their Bandcamp here, I can tell you some of the musicians that they have been working with on this record, because they have been working. So yeah, Hannes Grossman, who is a guy who played in some bands, which I'm going to also have to look up, but I know for a fact he's sort of like a
yes, this artist played in the band. I'm not sure which one, but you know what? He sounds cool.
No.
It's basically what you were like right there.
Oh yeah, no, Hannes Grossman is ex-Necrophagist. He's in Obscura and Blotted Science. So yeah.
Whoa. So all right, that makes sense why it's fucking brain expanding necrophagist. Like, I tried to learn fermented awful discharge. I was like, that riff isn't that hard. It's just no. There's a reason why it's fucking technical death metal. So technical death metal. It was fucking. I can't get it. All right,
mate. That's necrophagist.
I learned that one of the guitarists does vocals. It's not just like a sole vocalist. He's doing that whilst. Dude.
Yeah, that's bonkers, isn't it?
Anyways, less about necrophagist.
But yeah, Moral Collapse, they're very much in that kind of like bent where it's kind of like yeah, we're definitely inspired a lot by like the more proggy end of death metal, like big, like sort of symbolic era death vibes, big cynic vibes, big like atheist sort of vibes, like sort of that kind of thing. But yeah, on the first fucking track, there's just a part where what I thought initially was a clarinet starts playing, but it's actually a sax tuned a bit weird. But it like again, it's just another album with fucking sax on the top of it, but it works so well. Whereas like in ByoNoiseGenerator, it's kind of just an absolute chaotic, like fucking insanity. We hear it's done super tastefully, like, and it's really, really like well composed stuff. Like super, super fucking talented band, man. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing what else these guys do. It's amazing how like all these different parts of the world are producing such cool bits of metal at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I've watched a few documentaries actually about like India's metal scene, and like it's still kicking off over there. It's still like coming up. Like there's
it's like
the underground over there is
thing,
mad.
How like different cultures, it's like Brazil, right? They're fucking mad. There's always like the meme of come to Brazil, come to Brazil, come to Brazil, come to
Brazilians
Brazil.
love
It's
their
like
metal, man. They
mad.
love their metal.
No, they love it.
Yeah.
It's, Asian countries seem to love it so much. I mean, you've got Worm Rot who come out of fucking Asia. I mean, they're the what I'm pretty. It's Worm Rot, right? That's like famous for playing the show with the goat.
Yes. They absolutely
I want a goat in the pit at my shows if I ever do. Like, I want a cow or something. I want a fucking farm animal. Dude, that'd be so sick. I like them, right? The cows are fucking chill as fuck. So that
would take up a lot of space on the van, though.
The shit out of everyone. Oh no, just in one area. Like if there's a farmer nearby, we go, yo, could we borrow one of your cows, like just for one of our shows?
Hopefully he's a metalhead and he gets the score. Like we'll bring it back unscathed. It's fine.
Yeah. No one can touch the cow. Otherwise, we stab them with the guitars. But yeah,
it's good. We don't like animal abuse.
So
we do not like animal abuse. But yeah, man, it's fucking insane how such fucking amazing musicianship is coming out of all around the world at the moment. This is a prime example of like the fucking amazing kind of like depths you can kind of reach with like using death metal as your vessel. Like it's really really brilliantly composed, very so very musically involved, very like sort of intricately made, like sort of like stuff. It's fucking great, man. Like I've listened to it a few times now, and every time I notice new things. It's one of those, like the compositions are quite it's a bit labyrinthian, so you always kind of notice like little new details. It's just excellent, like outstanding record, man. Like so good. So yeah, that's Mental Collapse. And that is their debut self-titled album. It's really great. You should go and listen to it. What's your next album?
You said one of us had to choose this album.
Yes.
You have a lot of albums. So yes. I was immediately snatching at this one because you've got a lot of albums this time. So this we talked about on the crossover episode, but it should still be talked about. This is Bodybox with the album Through the Bongfire.
Yes.
Now, this is like raw and just this is about as fucking chunky and as hard as fuck as like brutal death metal can get, or just death metal of this new wave of bands trying to be old school death metal bands but in B standard instead of E flat. And honestly, like I have not recovered from this album. My ears have not recovered, my neck has not recovered, my torso, my arms, all of my limbs, my nose definitely hasn't recovered, that's for sure.
It stinks.
No, because I fucking hit my head on the wall.
By the way, I meant it stinks as in it's like putrid and foul, not that it's bad. Because
yeah. I know, not my nose stinks. No, the album is fucking stinky. The album is foul. The album has a miasma around it, and it is
Yes, it
wretched.
does. It does. No,
Also, probably the miasma of Bongfire is probably what it is.
yeah, this thing has been on a 5-day drug bender and it hasn't showered. You know what I mean? It's just it's raucous. Yeah. So this got mentioned on the crossover.
Around our areas, like I'm pretty sure it's the same for you. You go down like any sort of alleyway, and it just reeks of Bongfire.
Yeah, it does. It does. There's definitely the pungent stink kicking about where I live quite a lot of the time. But yeah, man, we had to kind of talk to ourselves and just be like, who's going to take this one? Because we got put onto this by Drape and Dripping, and yeah, like you
Draped and dripped.
Yeah, Drape. I keep getting it fucking wrong. Wait a minute, let me plug my bloody laptop.
It's because you talked about. It's because you like were talking about dripping, and then Seven was like, "Yeah, I got a dripping long sleeve." That's probably the reason why.
Oh yeah, of course it is. 2 seconds. I've got to figure out why the hell my batteries, my thingy isn't charging. Carry on talking for a little bit.
Yeah. So this album, like, completely unexpectedly just arrived, and everyone like hyped it up, and they're like, "There's no reason for something so random to be just go so fucking hard." It was
Mate.
like This album embodies when I first heard 200 Stab Wounds. I mean, 200 Stab Wounds to me is one of the hardest fucking things I've heard in a while. I mean, I fucking love 200 Stab Wounds, and this Bodybox is like making it so it's like I could relive my time when I first heard 200 Stab Wounds, and that was when I was like really starting to delve into underground death metal. So I'm happy that was something that I could really live again, you know, through this fucking stenchy, chunky, hard ass album. And that's like the production is purposely shit as fuck.
I love the way it sounds.
It's not. Yeah, what I'm saying is like it's not. When I say this, it's not shit as in like Rika Putrefaction shit. It's shit as in it makes the like notes actually stick out, unless if it was an actual clean and well done mix. So definitely check this one out. If you're gonna check anything out from all the brutal death metal shit that I talk about, because I seem to listen to nothing else, definitely check out Bodybox.
Yeah, no, I'll finish off what I was saying earlier before my my fucking laptop gave me a like battery low thing. So yeah, the lovely boys gave us sort of mentioned this, and I sort of said to you like, oh man, what were those albums I was talking about on the podcast? And you sent me this EP, and I was just like, this is fucking chunk central, isn't it? It's ridiculous. To me, it kind of it kind of like, again, it's sort of another way that another band who are kind of fusing like brutal death metal and hardcore, like, which at the moment that's been my thing that I've been bang into, and anything that kind of like misses that thing. But again, I wouldn't. This is definitely isn't a deathcore.
Oh yeah, huge hardcore influences.
Yeah, but like mate, for sure. Like, there's parts on this where it kind of like sounds like fucking. I don't know if you know the band Varials or anything like that. Like that kind of hardcore. It's like super fucking like groovy, really ignorant sort of like hardcore. At points it kind of reminds me of Varials gone guttural, but then at other points it kind of like kind of gives him like a sanguisuga bog, but with some fucking thug energy to it, like kind of a thing. It's like it's fucking Nah, mate, it's fucking so hard, man. Like, there's riffs and there's moments on this which are just so like deeply satisfying to my fucking stupid lizard brain. It's perfect, man, and it's it's only like 15 minutes long, right? So it's, you know, and it gets everything done in each of them and gets out, and it's
it seems as if every like death metal band's doing EPs, which I'm happy, because like death metal is good as an EP. Like, obviously I'm sad because it's like, dude, I want to hear more of your music, but also you got to think nowadays listening to music has changed and getting money through music has changed. This is probably going to be an episode in itself because it's something that I find interesting to talk about. But as far as streaming goes, the only way you're going to make lots of money is by releasing like singles and EPs, because that means that you can release more music, and because we are so attention deficit, we're like, oh yeah, this thing, and then we're immediately moving on to the next thing. So having to release singles and EPs isn't a bad thing. However, though, that's like as so many bands start out by putting out EPs and singles.
Yeah,
and the
right.
thing is with death metal being, especially like the harder bands, they're like, no one wants to listen to our music for more than 15 minutes. So we're only giving like 2 tracks, but we'll release them like very close together.
Yeah,
and that means
absolutely.
It's, also kind of gives them a bit more money. Not that there's much money to be made in this scene, that's for sure. Because it's like, I mean, you look at really big artists, they never really release albums. Most of the time, it's always singles, and that's one of the main reasons why. Is because, I mean, I'd like to think that as the underground, we also really like what was before us. But like with more popular artists, everyone always says like, notice how this art is popular for a month, but then afterwards, like, no one gives a shit anymore because they're so attention deficit. Lots of us have an issue of being so infatuated with what was before us, and we always think whatever's coming out now is shit. But like, don't be the guy that buys everything off of Discogs from like an original press. I mean, I have done that, obviously, buying original presses of albums off of Discogs or rarer ones because I like the album a lot or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, of course.
With newer bands, definitely buy their fucking cassettes or like some of their merch or something, because like, support them, because there's a lot of fucking hard ass bands coming out right now.
Yeah,
it
is a fucking mad time for death metal, and particularly at the moment, the underground is popping off. It's like, yeah, I'd say like the death metal specifically, I think this is probably the best it's been for at least 10 years. Like, at least. So yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Like so for fucking yeah, like, get on it. That is like what was the band you were just talking about?
Yeah, I went on something totally different. Bodybox with Through the
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, Bodybox. If you want some fucking ignorant, slammy, lovely goodness, mate. We like I've listened to that. I've listened to this EP so much. Like, it's ridiculous. Fucking spot on. And now for something completely different. This is like my outlier kind of choice. But I had to put this in here because I've been listening to this fucking loads. The weather's been really good recently, and sometimes when I'm out in the sun, I don't just like to listen to like riffs that sound like they were fucking concocted out of like the soup of people's remains. Like, sometimes I like listening to some like harder music which has a slightly summery vibe to it, and that's where this band comes in. They're called Slope, and the album is called Street Heat. Now, this band's sound to me is like a combination of two things that I love really dearly. I've never heard a band combine these two things quite in the same way. So the first big influence, obviously, to when you listen to them, is sort of like 90s funk rock. There's like a lot of like, I'd say like early Incubus, early Red Hot Chili Peppers, like before they like blew the fuck up, when they were still like really funky. There's a lot of like when Suicidal Tendencies gets a bit funky as well. It's kind of that kind of vibe, right? But like filtered through a hardcore band. So there's like a real hardcore energy to it, and there's some fucking beat downs thrown in, but it's all with this summery, super fun, super fucking groovy funk rock thing. And this might be my summer album of the year this year, possibly, unless something else comes out that under this. But if you want something that's fun and energetic, but also is pretty hard and got some sick groove, mate, there's a song on this album called Train Surfing as well, which has like the best Cowboys from Hell era groove that Pantera never wrote. It is so fucking sick. Like, every time I listen to it, I want to start dancing. It's just fucking, it's so good. Like, the whole album is stupid amounts of fun. Like I can't recommend it enough. They've got a real like kind of an attitude to them as a band too, like almost a bit of a sense of humor. Like it definitely comes off in like the vocal delivery. I think there's like two vocalists, and they like trade off each other in quite a funny way and all of this stuff. But yeah, mate. Really good, and they're from Germany. They sound like they should be from California or something, but they're like the sunny fucking shores of California. But they're German, which is really weird. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Get pretty sunny.
Oh, it can get pretty sunny, but it like I just wouldn't. If you'd have like say,
yeah, wait, actually, yeah, no, it's like Germany is like a Russia. You just think of some really hard ass riffs coming out of that country.
Yeah, you do, and I mean, there's
famous for Rammstein.
So, yeah. You I always think of German music as being like super mechanical in a way because they're all engineers. You know what I mean? Like they take everything super literally. I will play the lift super slower now. You know what I mean? It's just
that was a little bit more of an Indian accent.
Mate, mate, my fucking accents are hilarious. Like, but yeah, essentially, this band is super fun. When it's sunny. And you really want to listen to something with a good summery vibe that's still hard. Did you just punch someone?
No, all right. My bottle was getting in the way, so I threw it across the room.
You Neanderthal. But yeah, next time you want something a bit bloody heavy, but that's still summery.
I have rage issues, all right.
Yeah, no, we all do. We all do. It is street heat.
I'm broken the TV screen.
Street heat, but street heat.
Sorry, I'll
Slope. Give me your next record, man.
This is now the third band that has, because all the three bands that I've just talked about, well, the last two I've talked about plus this one, all of them are written in capitals. So this is now the final band of where the whole band name is written in capitals. This is the one that you've been waiting for. This is Seep with Souvenirs of a Necrosadist. I mean, just like song titles alone, Phlegm Burial, Boiled and Piss. Yeah. What more could you want? One guy doing this on his own. This is like the most death doom. Just like you want to get like fucking like this throughout this fucking album. That's like how you're gonna feel. I mean, I am not resident death doom man. You've heard this album, you could probably give a better description about it. To me, it's just like, whoa, it's like slow and chunky as fuck, and it sounds good, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, essentially, like, the thing I like about this band is that it feels as though the riffs still have that twisted death metal element to them, but they are played with that doom metal heft. Like, it's slow and heavy. But that like twisted death metal element makes it feel really disgusting, and that's the word that I would use for this album. It's genuinely like nasty stuff, right? Like it feels as though you're listening to a fucking like someone's like covered in their own shit murdering their wife. It's just fucking horrible, but in the best way. Like the riff, I was so fucking impressed with the riffing on this because it, like I said, it's like that perfect combo.
Yeah, they're very
slow way, but like it's all really twisted and raw and sickly in the way that like good like fucked up death metal riffing is. It's like the perfect combo. It's like some of the best death doom I've heard in a long time.
Style riffing where they get all twisty with their riffs, and it's kind of like the same thing but with different notes at different times. This is what's going on with Seep.
It's fun. It's such a fucking good EP, man. Like I was floored by it when you sent it to me initially. I remember listening to it and just being like, this is fucking gross. I need more of this in my life. I can only wholeheartedly recommend that. That's fantastic. It's one of the better Death Doom releases I've heard in a long time.
Made by one guy. So that
made
was
by one fucking dude. What the fuck?
I know, it's insane. You just lost your neck there. Your neck disappeared.
Yeah, no, we're like polar opposites in that way. You're like,
I've got such a long neck. Dude, I'm like a fucking
giraffe boy and fucking mole man from The Simpsons
I
over
can't
here.
lose it, dude. I can't fucking lose it, my neck.
Oh, mate.
No, that's not a bad thing. It means I will be able to eat trees and you won't. So
Yeah, no, man. Like you definitely out survived me, just in terms of height. Like you'd be able to get over things more than me. Like if we went back to the rules of the
not in
jungle,
terms of strength though, but let's move swiftly
let's
onwards to
move
yours.
quickly onwards. Lovely. I love that album, man. Right.
Yes, that's Seep with Necro. Well, I was very close to the microphone there. That's Seep with Souvenirs of a Necrosadist.
Yes, a big recommend from me too on that because that's a banger.
Big recommend.
My next one. This came out of fucking nowhere for me. I found this completely on a whim, and I was floored by it. Essentially, this band plays like proper, authentic sounding, old school death metal. But the thing that sets them apart to me is that where some of those old school death metal bands kind of are all atmosphere and all kind of rawness, this band, when they need to make it count, they can make their music punch, like really like chunk the fuck out. And like this has like really raw old school production. So the band are called Cold Curse and the album's called Violent Measure. And yeah, this is one of those records where like you wouldn't be mistaken if you thought this came out in like 1989. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's got that kind of a thing to it, like really raw old school production values. Like the fucking vocals are fucking caked in reverb in a really cool way. It's got that atmosphere to it. It definitely sounds pretty Swedish, for sure. But the thing that really makes it stand out to me is there's some like straight up mosh moments on this where it like fucking coils down into like a fucking into a straight chunk riff that none of those bands would ever do. And it punches way fucking harder than a lot of that stuff does with that kind of production job. Like they really bring it down into a fucking really slamming moment, and it's brilliant, man. Like it's sort of like having your cake and eating it, because a lot of the times, and I love the atmosphere of like the really fucking like, you know, the old school sounding Swedish stuff. Like I love the ambience and the vibe of that, but to be able to kind of have that and that style of riffing along with just some fucking ignorance almost. It's sort of like, yeah, I wouldn't say it's like actual slam at all. It's just like the riffs occasionally do go into some real like chug, like way more chug than those sorts of riffs usually do. But it's yeah, man, it's like I think it's their only EP so far. I think it was released in like 2018. They haven't put out anything since. Kind of curious as to where they've gone, because I think they've hit on something really fucking cool here. I really like it, and I reckon a lot of people would really enjoy this too, because it's kind of a combination of things that a lot of people like, but not that the particular combination hasn't been done this way before. And yeah, they're really, really good. Check them out, man. Like I reckon you might like them, George. Actually, yeah, just because like I said, it's like really old school and raw in its production, but it's got some fucking legitimate heaviness going on as well when it wants to. It's a really good combo. Really enjoyed that. That's Cold Curse with the EP Violent Measure. Very good stuff. Right, tell me your next one.
This is now my last one.
Sweet.
And I love this fucking band. Well, one guy, actually. So I'm going to put both of the albums on Spotify. Once again, this one was mentioned to us on the crossover episode. But cool. This is the guy, I know he's in Sarcophagus. Or sarcophagus, I don't know. However you want to say it.
I don't know either.
But I say sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus.
Very good. Yeah, dude. And that sounded like suck a faggot for a second like that. But either way. What was it? Yeah. This guy has a fucking face when he screams, by the way. I watched their Cult Nation one. He has like this wide-eyed, just like his fucking face. I mean, I kind of do that face, but you know what? I ain't blaming him, dude. It's fucking brutal. So for this guy to go out on his own and make this death grindy, chunky shit, this is Necroveg with both the self-titled and the latest release, Chaos Perpetuated. I first went and listened to the self-titled Necroveg. I fucking love this. So people may hate this, but I'm pretty sure he calls himself a just straight vegan death grind. Obviously,
Fair.
that speaks to me pretty well because, man, do I love cow decapitation, and they're all about veganism and animals and shit like that. And so the song titles are so fucking cow decap. I mean, you've got Corpse Curry, which just reminds me of my vinyl variant of Karma Bloody Karma because it's curried sanguine. This time it's not just blood, it's literally a full corpse, you know, just fucking butchered up, chucked in there, you know, you're frying it up. You got like, you're putting the fucking curry sauce on there. Hopefully it's like tikka masala or some shit. You're making this fucking stuff up and you just eat the fuck out of that guy. You got human haggis. Haggis is one of the most fucked up things, all right?
Yeah, it really
But
is.
like, it's like,
too.
I never had it, but you know, and I never will have it at this point. But
Bad news.
it's literally like, fucking hell. I'm sorry for being such a like. I actually do fucking hate being like, oh look at me, I'm a fucking vegetarian, but like, because this band is literally about being vegan.
It's relevant.
I've got no way around it. All right,
It's relevant.
I've got no way around it. But however, I do hate having to talk about this shit all the time because it makes me feel like an inconsiderate asshole. Because so many people in this like vegetarian vegan community are annoying cunts. And,
but it's perfectly fine because it is relevant to the music. Like so.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Vegan death grind. Vegan. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
But yeah, as I was saying, human haggis. Like I said, haggis is pretty fucked up. It's basically like take the stomach, right? And after you put the meat inside the stomach or something like that.
Yeah,
so
basically.
Like, almost dead cannibalism. And then after you got my favorite, because this is almost like well, not the first few Cal Decap records. They had some songs which are like in Spanish, I believe, because they had like, although they were unreleased, but you had like a Tripas de Pepe and shit like that. Well, at the beginning just be Tripas de Pepe pendejo. And so here you've got genitales fritos, which is genitalia chips for us over there in the USA land. It's fries.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
See, like actually, this reminds me, totally off the fucking note. I was so glad that when we were talking about full English last episode, right? We didn't get onto the state of chips because that would have confused the fuck out of both of us because they would have thought we were on about crisps. And then we'd have to say, no, they're like chips. The fries are different. Fries are skinny. And
it's a whole thing, isn't it?
Anticipating that to happen. I was like, oh, thank God we got past that. Either way. But yeah, no, like super fucking brutal Necroveg. It's like I mean it's one man gore grinded type shit. So it's programmed drums, obviously guitars and vocals, like the authentic part. And it's just chunky and sludgy and also cool because it's about eating humans. And who doesn't love that? Eating humans instead of animals. And who doesn't love that sort of stuff?
It's always an interesting lyrical subversion. I do enjoy it. There's lots of potential for some nasty fucked up stuff, and it always goes down well. Yeah, I heard. I don't know if I heard the self-titled or the most recent one, but you linked me this one as well.
Did you listen to the one that was on Spotify when I sent it to you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you would have listened to the self-titled one because the Chaos Perpetuated wasn't on there when we listened to it.
All right, no, sweet man. Well, I've got homework still. I've got to listen to the new one because the self-titled was fucking wicked, man. Like really raw, like a drum machine, right? If I'm not mistaken, like a drum machine. Yeah, but it's one of the drum machine records I really like because it uses that texture like brilliantly and like the way the riffing plays off the drum. It just sounds fucking raucous.
It's like a
sounds wild.
Thing where it's like just a very select drum beats to see all the fucking way through.
Yeah,
but he does like
really
vary it up with this drum machine, which is cool. It shows that he put a little bit more time into it. Because I mean, drum machines are annoying, right? Because you got to fucking press buttons and stuff. It's not like programming it on a computer. It's still annoying to fucking program it on a computer. I don't fuck programming drums, honestly.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fucking nightmare. I've only dabbled. It's too much technical knowledge for my stupid fucking brain, man.
That is a drum machine that you are doing right there.
Exactly. It all comes full circle. But yeah, that's Necroveg. You can listen to both their self-titled and the other one. on Spotify or wherever you listen to your musical intake. Wherever you take. Right. My last album is from a band who probably don't need the exposure, but I just wanted to talk about this album because I feel like it's weirdly underrated. This is Aborted, and with their album Global Flatline. Now, Aborted have been a big fucking band in death metal for fucking.
I know Retro Gore and Terror Vision.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember,
So
I didn't enjoy myself, but however, though I did re-listen to Terror Vision and I thought it was good.
yeah, no. So
I think it was like very close to like being almost like a deathcore type of thing, and I was like, can't listen to that stuff. So that's probably why I didn't enjoy it.
The funny thing is actually you mentioning that. Like I remember the first time I heard Whitechapel when they were doing This Is Exile. I literally remember listening to that and going, they've been listening to a lot of Aborted, haven't they? Like I kind of think that Aborted kind of influenced deathcore and not the other way around. It's weird. Because back in like their most commonly known record is the Saw and the Carnage Done, Gormageddon, like where that was like their breakout. And it's fucking sick and it holds up. But the reason I really love this fucking record, which again I'll say is Global Flatline, is to me it covers so much of what I like about death metal on the space of one album. There's a lot of variation while still sounding cohesive. So you go in between like super speedy blast stuff. There's some fucking chunk to spare. It gets melodic as fuck. There's some amazing solos. It goes through thrashy parts. It's like a smorgasbord of everything I like about death metal. The fucking production job is like a clean production job, but it sounds really good. It doesn't sound overproduced or anything. It still sounds like a band, but everything sounds fucking clear and crisp and booming. And it's like just brilliant songwriting and just a great combo of everything I like in death metal. I think Aborted have been quite hit and miss over the years for me, but they're one of those bands for me when they hit. Oh boy, I think when Aborted are good, I think they are fucking astonishingly sick. Like they've always been a band for me that have been great at marrying different parts of death metal, and they always kind of go into slightly different territory on each album. Like parts they've gone like really groovy, parts they've gone like super like blasty. You know, they're one of those bands, and they know just enough to change it up for record for record that it is worth actually listening to new albums. But yeah, man, if you haven't listened to Global Flatline, like I've never seen it get talked about that much. People always talk about like Retro Gore and Terror Vision in terms of the new stuff, or they talk about Gormageddon, and I like all of those. But to me, Global Flatline is my favorite Aborted record, and I reckon. If people are not quite fussed on them, there's a chance that people might get fucking converted by that album. Like, don't get me wrong, it's Aborted. If you don't like what Aborted brings to the table, it's not like they're doing something completely different. But the songwriting chops are mental. Like as a band, they do so much stuff, and it never sounds as though it's going off on different directions. Good fucking stuff. So yeah. Aborted, Global Flatline. Go listen to it, and the front cover's good fun as well. It's like zombies, like eating each other. It's great fun.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the album cover.
Yeah, nice. It's bloody lovely. No, right. So, Carl, that was a stacked episode, wasn't it?
That is us. Yeah. As we're gonna see as we progress with the MMR, it's gonna be at one point with like 50 bands each.
It keeps going up, doesn't it?
Like 1 p.m. Yeah, we're gonna have to start at like 1 p.m. and we'll be done by like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get more so. Although I think I'm going to impose a 10-band limit. I think 10 is about the most that we can get through. But yes, excellent. That's 20 new bands. So just for the sake of clarity, go through all of your records again, and then I'll go through mine.
All right. Let me get the list. All right. In order. We got Esophagus defeated by their Inferiority. We got Carnal Disfigurement with inhumane content from Carnal Cavity. Then we got Spiritual Embodiment with their self-titled released. We got Cave Bastard with The Bleak Shall Devour the Earth. We got Komodonesia with The Story from the Komodo Dragon.
Lizard
We
shit.
got MDMA with Shut up! We got MDMA with Chemical Obliteration. We got a Bodybox with Through the Bongfire. We got Seep with Souvenirs of a Necrosadist. And we got Necroveg with both the EPs.
All right, lovely. Mine are ByoNoiseGenerator.
You know what you did my job for me?
What's that?
Because I was thinking to myself, oh, as I go through these, I should like recap people on what it was. But you were like, Predators first. Yeah, good slam. Reptiles. And I was like, I was gonna do it, but you did my job for me. But you also was like sharp, man.
all right. I'll keep that in mind next time. All right, sweet. Mine were in order: ByoNoiseGenerator with Neuromechanica, Dead, You'll Never Know Pleasure, The Dark Prison Massacre with a Blood Clot Ejaculation, Hate Diplomacy with Rant, Steel Bearing Hand with Slay in Hell, Traumatomy with Transcendental Eviscerating of Necrogenetic Beasts, Moral Collapse with their self-titled album, Slope with Street Heat, Cold Curse with Violent Measure, and Aborted with Global Flatline. That's a lot of homework, ladies and gents, but there's some fucking sick jams in there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Absolutely, no. I'm psyched as all fuck. This is a lot of fucking homework for me. I'm excited to get my teeth into some of these bad boys, but also I am excited to get my teeth into some other things. If I'm not mistaken, we've got some listening to do for next week, have we not?
We've got some listening to do for the next 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week, we're doing it, baby. It's the fucking album review. Everyone's already done it, but as you know, we work on a weekly schedule, and as well, we have recurring segments, and we're not here to be like the next day album review.
Yeah.
Also, we've waited long enough. We've waited long enough for Anthony Fantano to come up with a review of the album. So now we can actually form a musical opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah, it's a decent 7, people.
All right. In case you haven't cottoned on, next week we are going to be reviewing the new album from death metal legends, Cannibal Corpse, with the album Violence Unimagined. I've given it a few listens now. I've got some opinions, but if you want to hear what they are, you're gonna have to tune in next week, mate. I'm sorry, it's not my job to go blabbering on.
The week after that, I hope the day that we record, it's slightly warm in this basement I live in, because I came up with a big idea, and I sent it to you, and
you did?
and you know what the big idea is. I think it's pretty funny. But next week, I'm not gonna have to spoil it for you. Wait 2 weeks. It's not that long. After the Cannibal review, we are doing the discography ranking of the Black Dahlia murder.
Yes.
Yeah. Once again, because it was my choice, everyone was thinking, is he gonna do cattle decapitation yet? No. They're working on new material. All right. I'm waiting for that stuff to come out. Black Dahlia murder came out with something last year, so we can do that and be safe to know that they're not going to come out with something within the next few years. So yeah, we're doing Black Dahlia murder.
Yes, we fucking are.
After that, we are hoping.
Yes.
We're thinking to ourselves, how fucking good would it be if because like on the Instagram, we're obviously at Black Dahlia murder. If then, because Trevor runs the Instagram.
He does.
We bully Trevor and offer him to chug a tin of beans when he comes to the UK with us. And we do an interview with Trevor Stannard. How sick would that be? Wow.
I mean, it's likely a pipe dream that will never happen, but a boy can hope. A boy can hope.
Will never happen.
But man, I would just collapse into a puddle of fangirl tears. Like
we'd have to have like 15 minutes before recording of us just being silent, staring at the man. Like,
in case he isn't uncomfortable enough already.
Yeah, and then obviously just have to be like, hyperventilating at the same time, like, and then 15 minutes later, we're like, okay, we could press record.
Oh man, how did you write
can't
Ritual?
Really? You're Travis Gerard for the Black Dahlia murder, and I'm talking to you over the staple of the future, the internet. Yes, I took that from what Brian Esbach said in Majesty. I'm going to be quoting absolutely every single one of your things you said, like sweating like a rapist, and your offensive haircuts, and you getting your drink slapped out of your hands by Brian Esbach in the What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse music video, and in Majesty it was also there, and also you complaining that they didn't make the box big enough when you having a piss.
We would basically just nerd the fuck out and make ourselves look like complete and utter fucking.
Oh, dude, the thing is though, it's like he's a fucking nerd, right? So
that's why I love him. That's why I love him.
Out.
You know what I mean?
He is your spirit animal.
I truly feel like that man is my spirit animal. I really feel like we would have a fair amount in common.
Know what man is my spirit animal?
Exactly. Those are the two pipe dream interviews that we can shoot our shot and hope for the best, and that's what we can do. But yes, we are at the very least going to be covering the entire studio album output of the Black Dahlia Murder. I am both excited and terrified because they are one of the most consistent bands in the entire world.
That's so consistent.
I have no fucking idea how I'm going to rank.
There's only one album that I know. Like, there's only one album that I know is at the bottom. The rest is like.
Yeah, the rest, like, legitimately, if you ask me on different days, you'll get different answers. Like, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to torture myself thinking about this, but it's coming. It's gonna be a banger, and oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, you can get all Cannibal Corpse out and all Black Dahlia Murdered out like in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be a great fucking time. But until then, go and listen to those bands we mentioned.
Also, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yes, go listen to those bands. We are going to put the link in. Well, Manny will put a link in the description. Here's a fun thing. I am a dickhead, and I do enjoy sharing my music collection with people. So obviously, no one's going to comment whether they're interested because no one's going to get this far into the video. We all know that you don't. But I am going to go through my CD, vinyl, and cassette collection in one video. I'll do it as quickly as I possibly can, and also in our fashion it will be long, and then periodically every now and then when I think I have enough like stuff, I'll do a collection update for everyone, like every now and then when I think I have enough new stuff in my collection. Well, I'm only doing like my full collection first because then obviously you know what's in there, and then I've got that out of the way, so then obviously like there we go. So that I'll probably do the collection update sometime this week. Don't expect it to be like clashing with the sat like with us recording every weekend. Because
no.
Manny is definitely more entertaining than I am, and I don't think anyone would want to be saddened by missing out an episode with Manny. So do not fret.
Yeah, but like I don't bring the flex game particularly. Like I don't have tasty goodies.
Yeah,
like,
see, that's what I mean.
You're the person who gives us credentials. I could just be a poser, just pretending that I love all this shit. Like I never bring things on. So you know,
I managed to get you back into buying merch. I was both saddened and happy when Jimmy went live for Wombstone because I didn't watch it live. I didn't get the notification. And I saw you wearing the Frozen Soul shirt. And I was like, that's my doing. You bought shirt.
It was actually a Suffering Hour shirt, but still. It was a Suffering Hour shirt, but still. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. No. But yeah, no, cool.
Like, I know that you buying merch was all because of me. I know.
More or less.
And you can't lie about it.
More or less, yeah. And then like it's been good over lockdown to chuck some of my money at some bands that really needed it. So you know, but yes, it's go and buy some merch from some of these bands if you like them. Support the scene, support the musicians that you like who make stuff because they don't
Stop
exist.
Supporting stuff from the 90s. Just go to your record store. I'm sure they'll have that Death album. Sure, it may be a fucking remaster. But chuck more money at these new bands because there are some hard ass shit that's coming out, and I want them to be able to have a living. Stop hating them because they're popular, please. I just want more albums by these people.
Yeah, no. All that particular kind of like this band's blowing up. You're all trendies. It's like small dick energy to the biggest extent. It's just like fuck off.
Yeah.
Like things pop off because it's good. You know what I mean? Things rise up and become popular because they're good and because they get people excited. Metal elitists can all suck a fat one. And I think that's a good fucking place to end it. All right. So, stay brutal, stay metal, go eat some fucking beans, go listen to those bands while eating beans and try not to shit yourself. I'll see you next week with Cannibal Corpse. Much love.
Or regurgitate the beans.
Or you can do that. Take it easy, boys and girls. Bye.